Hi everybody, it's Flash Frame again, um, bringing you another vlog. Uh, Today's topic is again political, which is unfortunate. I really wish I could get away from the political stuff, but this election season seems hell bent on me being part of the election system in some way. Um, the main thing that I want to talk about right now is what happened um, this past voting session in Arizona, primarily in the greater Phoenix area. This includes Glendale, Tempe, Phoenix, and surrounding areas. Um, First and foremost, I was unable to vote in that primary, not because I was denied, uh, simply because I was sleeping. I work nights, and I didn't get any of the paperwork in order to cast my vote um, through a mail-in ballot. Not that it would have mattered anyway, and I'm going to get into that in a moment. Um, so, I did not personally experience any of the problems that have been reported in the media about the I didn't personally experience any discrimination. I did not personally get turned away. I didn't personally run into an issue where my vote did not count. However, I have several friends that were able to go out and vote that braved hours long lines, and I'm talking 4, 5, 6 hours um, to cast their vote, and I respect these individuals. Um, However, these individuals cast a vote that apparently did not matter at the end of the day. For those of you that haven't been paying attention, um, the candidate voting for your respective party just happened this past week. I believe it was Monday. This past Monday, a week ago, 7 days ago. What ensued in the state of Arizona was something that in my 31 years of existence I've never seen. Now, I didn't used to pay attention to politics all that closely. If you listen to my last podcast, I believe I mentioned, or my last vlog, rather, I believe I mentioned that I didn't pay attention to any of the really a lot of the issues that were going on before. I was young, I didn't think it mattered. And now that I'm in my 30s, I'm starting to realize just how much this stuff matters on the whole. The problem that I have run into here is even had I have gone and voted, it is very likely that my vote would not have counted simply because I would have been a registered Democrat, and things are coming to light um, in regards to old elections, including the last election 4 years ago, uh, that shocks me. So, first, let me recount the tale of a couple of friends of mine. I won't name names, but I do want to mention the stories as I heard them from them. One is a former roommate who went out to vote, stood in line, and was literally turned away. Now, I've asked for clarification. The only thing that I was told was that as he was standing there, he was told that he could not vote and had to leave. To my knowledge, he holds no felony charges against him. There's literally no reason that he shouldn't have been able to vote. Yet he was turned away. My second issue is the second person rather is a longtime friend of mine who, well, and there will be a third person as well, but the second person is a longtime friend of mine who has always voted Democrat. She voted in the last election, and she voted Democrat. Well, some things came to light about her last vote that is very interesting. Now, again, she has always, always registered Democrat. Always. In the last presidential election, which would have been Obama's second term, uh, the one in which Obama got his second term, she did vote for Obama. However, her vote did not count. Now, at the end of the day, you may say, well, what's it matter? Obama got into office. Well, it matters because she was apparently put down as registered Republican. Now, in the state of Arizona, you have to align yourself party-wise. You have to align either Republican or Democrat, or you can go Independent or Green Party if you wish. However, your vote does not count if you do not vote within your party. We're going to come back to that in a moment. Third friend of mine that went to vote was able to get there, was able to get in and vote after waiting for a long time in line. Yet was given a provisional ballot. Now, in Arizona, a provisional ballot indicates that your vote will not be counted. Yay, you showed up and voted, but it didn't mean shit. So why did he go and waste all of this time? Well, he was registered Democrat, yet showed up in their system as independent. Weird, right? So, these are three instances, three people, from just my personal close circle of friends, one of which was turned away entirely. Now, mind you, all three Democrats, all three of them Democrats. One of them turned away completely. One of them their vote did not count because they were registered Republican and voted Democrat, even though they should have been registered Democrat. And that was last election. Then this election was given a provisional ballot and basically told to screw off. Your vote doesn't count because apparently registering at the DMV to vote, their paperwork got in late and they were not properly registered in time. I'm going to call bullshit on that too, but let's... So we've got one person turned away, one person who's been dicked over in two separate elections, and a third person who was dicked over because they were not properly, again, not properly recorded as the party that they had chosen. Now, it sounds a little weird, doesn't it? Went, voted, didn't count for shit. And in one case, wasn't even able to get in and vote. This is a very, very disconcerting issue and something that I've been thinking on for a few days now. And one that, in a way, makes me glad that I didn't attempt to vote. Um, at the same time, I know that looks bad on me, um, which is unfortunate. But I know that my vote wouldn't have counted anyway because I would have registered Democrat. So, go fucking figure, I probably would be seeing these same issues. So, there's some things that I don't quite get. Things that should just be obvious, and it's odd that the polling. Well, one, the polling place issue was insane. In one of the most divisive elections that we have seen in recent history, and by recent I mean in the past 40 years. That's 10 elections. In the past 40 years, this is the most divisive election that we have seen in the United States. And what do we have? What are we looking at? A state that decided to completely downgrade its polling station options, to gut the Voters' Rights Act, to do several things that just completely made this state a joke. And it's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate. So, what can we do about it? Well, honestly, I don't know what we as citizens can do about it except show our displeasure, contact government, and tell them how much of a shit show this was. For those of you that voted and were put in a position that your vote was not counted for whatever reason, please voice your displeasure at this. Now, I want to touch on a couple of the issues that I have with this whole system we have going in Arizona. Because I've got a few issues with the system that we've got going in Arizona. One, well, one of them is a nationwide issue that I have. It's my understanding that as an American citizen, I have a Social Security card. I am issued a Social Security card and I am issued a Social Security number. This number is with me for the entirety of my life. Unless I should change said number for whatever reason, which I may have to do at some point. But this number is with me for the entirety of my life, and it is tracked. It is tracked. They know what age I am based on my Social Security number and all of that. Why the hell am I not immediately registered as a voter the day I turn 18? Since I own a Social Security number. Seems like it'd be, fucking common sense, right? That I should just be registered to vote. I'm a citizen of the United States. One of my fundamental rights is the right to vote. Why am I not automatically registered with the ownership of my social security number? So that's issue number one. I personally believe that everyone with a social security number should be registered to vote. Number two, here in Arizona, you must pick your party, as I mentioned earlier: Republican, Democrat, Independent, Green Party, Whig, whatever. Good idea in theory. I mean, I should be able to state my general allegiance to a party. Sure, why not? The problem I have comes from the fact that, and I'm going to throw this out there as an example. Now, eh, I know that there are reasons that the system is in place as it is, and one of the reasons that the system is in place as it is to combat a perceived problem of saying you're with one party and voting for the other. That is why, or seemingly that is why, Arizona tosses out votes that are cross aisle votes. Or, if you're independent and you vote Republican or Democrat, your vote does not count. Fundamental flaw in your concept here, Arizona. Let's say 2 years ago, I registered Democrat. I registered to vote 2 years early. Now, let's say I register Republican. God forbid I would ever register Republican, though there was a time that I did feel that the Republican Party was for the better when I was younger. In fact, I remember having discussions around the time of Bush Jr.'s first uh, term, while I was still in middle school, getting ready to go into high school. I remember talking to my grandparents and voicing my support for Bush Jr. at the time, because I had felt that his father had done a good job, and that I remembered as a kid, and I thought that he would do just as good of a job. Little did I know, but I was too young to vote at that time. Um, so, anyways, back to my thought process here. Let's say 2 years ago, I register Republican. Let's say I register Republican because I've decided that, oh, what Obama's been doing, it just hasn't sat well with me, and I think it's time for a change. So I go ahead and register Republican, with the intention of voting Republican in the coming election, in 2 years' time. Now, keep in mind, this is all hypothetical. Well, let's say that as the candidates come out and start making their case and holding their rallies, what happens if suddenly what Bernie Sanders is saying starts to strike true, or what Hillary's saying starts to strike true with me, or even Vermin Supreme, who is hilarious, and if you've never seen this man or heard of Vermin Supreme, look up Vermin Supreme on YouTube. But I digress. What happens if I'm listening to the candidates debate and I start going, what the Democrats are saying are making sense? Now, keep in mind, in this hypothetical situation, I have already registered to vote Republican. I have registered to vote, and I'm listed as a Republican. But say I start to switch my political beliefs. Because, contrary to popular belief, not everyone just sits there and allies themselves blindly to a party. Some of us actually, listen to what the candidates say. So, let's say voting time comes. I'm registered Republican. I go down, but I cast my vote for Sanders. Let's say I put in my ballot, and on my ballot it says Bernie Sanders. My vote wouldn't count. My vote would not count because I am registered Republican and I voted Democrat. Now, that seems a little odd, doesn't it? So you're telling me that I can't change my party affiliation on the fly because I've decided to educate myself? Now that sounds a little weird, doesn't it? You would think that, or even if I was Democrat, say I registered Democrat, and I decided, yo, this Trump dude is speaking truth to me. Would never happen, mind you, but just for argument's sake, let's say that Trump drew me over from the Democratic side, and I was registered Democrat, but decided to vote for Trump. My vote would not count. Now, let's say I take an independent stance. See, growing up, as I started to become more interested in politics in my mid 20s, I thought, well, maybe I'll go independent. I will list myself as an independent voter, as an independent party supporter, and vote whoever makes the best argument, I'll vote for. Well, in the state of Arizona, my idea to register independent and then vote for the person that I agree with wouldn't matter. It wouldn't count. So basically, the state of Arizona has decided that educating yourself as a voter is not a good idea, and that voters should not educate themselves and decide last minute what party to vote for, because they want you to ally yourself with a party and always vote within that party. To my knowledge, that's not how the democratic system is supposed to fucking work, guys. Last I checked, you're supposed to be able to vote for who you want to vote for. And your vote's supposed to count, right? Or am I just nuts? Is this such a hard concept? So there's that. Issue 2, the polling places. Why would you have so little? Why would you have so few? It's fucking crazy. On the same boat, you are supposed to go to a specific polling place based on your location because of districts. So instead of saying, hey, the population of Arizona voted this way, it's focused on districts. Now that makes no sense to me. If I'm registered to vote, I should be able to go to a polling place and vote. Say I'm out and about and I realize, hey, it's vote day. There's a polling place right down the street from where I'm located currently. I should be able to go down and cast my ballot. However, because of the way that the system is currently set up, I would have to come all the way back home and find the closest polling center to my zip code. And that is serving my district. Why? Why on earth? That makes zero sense. If you're holding a popular election, what should matter is what the population has decided, not what zone I'm in, not what fucking district I'm in, what I decide. Shouldn't matter where I cast this ballot, it should fucking count. I apologize for the cussing, but this shit pisses me off. So, we've got everybody that has a social security card should be fucking registered to vote at 18. Done. That's the way it should be. If you have the amount of polling stations should be based on population in a given area. Don't fucking downgrade your stations just because people didn't vote in the last election. Who cares? Put up your fucking polling stations. Get rid of this whole party, you can't vote cross party bullshit. Now, I understand the reason that the cross party vote is there. It's to prevent somebody from saying they're Democrat and then voting Republican and skewing numbers somewhere. I get the reasoning behind it. At the same time, I think it's an issue that isn't really an issue. Because all you do at the end of the day by blocking that that crossover is you stop voters from becoming informed voters. You stop people like me who like to listen to the issues, who like to pay attention from making a difference. And hey, if you're going to control things, great way to fucking control things because this is the second time that I have felt completely betrayed by the system because Bush Jr.'s second term, he lost the popular yet won the electoral, and I felt that that was a terrible, terrible loss that never should have happened. Um, if you lose the popular, that should be it. The electoral college is also another thing. The electoral college needs to go. If someone loses the popular vote, that's it. They lost the popular vote. It's that simple. The only time the electoral college should come in any capacity if there is a 50-50 draw on candidates or a 33-33-33 33.3 repeating split on three candidates. Any time that you get a tie on all the candidates, that is when the electoral college should come in. Then and only then. Because otherwise, you're not representing the people of the United States of America. You're serving your own selfish interests. And people are tired of the system as is. It's why Donald Trump and Bernie Sanders are two of the most popular candidates. Despite the fact that Hillary is currently leading on the Democratic side, and I'm not even going to get into that whole snafu or my views on that. I did that in another video. But regardless of that, there is a lot at stake in America right now. And suppressing your voters is only going to lead to more problems. Look at how things are going already. So anyways, we're coming up on 30 minutes. I've ranted at you guys for 30 minutes about this. So this is all I can think of to fix the system. I'm no professional, but as a citizen of the United States of America, I see a perceived problem. Many others have seen a perceived problem. I've offered up what I think are the best solutions to fix said problem. No, I haven't looked at the numbers on like how many registered voters are in an area. There are things that would have to be considered on, say, the polling station issue. How many people can a single polling station take in a given time frame? Uh, to decide how many polling stations are needed in a given area. Um, I know that that heavy Latino areas were excluded here in Arizona. Um, Never should a ethnic area be left out. So I just want to say, guys, I this is the best that I can come up with on solutions to the problem. The problem and ideal solutions to the problem. To reiterate, those solutions are: if you have a social security number, you're registered to vote at 18. Well, I mean, that's all tracked anyway. So when you turn 18, if you have a social security number, you should be registered to vote. Now, if you become a naturalized citizen and all of that, you should be issued a social security number and you should yada yada. It should all be tied into your naturalization paperwork and everything to register you to vote. Two, polling stations. Make sure there's fucking enough of them, and don't shortchange them. Who cares if you're not dealing with that many people at a given polling station? It should still be open and an option. Three, get rid of the party restrictions. Don't stifle my fucking vote because I decided to switch last minute for a given. You don't know. You don't know what I've heard. Maybe I decided that somebody's, speech somewhere moved me and made me decide, hey, I'm going to vote for Cruz, or I'm going to vote for Sanders, or I'm going to vote for Clinton, even though I'm registered with a party that's not them. Don't stifle independents' votes. If an independent decides to vote Democratic or Republican, fucking let them. Count that vote. We took the time to get our asses out to the polling station to vote. Our vote should be fucking counted. End of discussion. So, anyways, my name is Flashframe. It's been great talking to you guys, and I'm just I'm sad and I'm angry about this situation. It shouldn't be like this, guys. So let's try to work towards changing the issue. All right, thanks a lot, guys. See you next time.